September 2025, federal agents swarm Houston's port. This is not another routine bust. Inside 1,300 barrels lies enough chemical cargo to flood the United States with $569 million in cartel meth. There were 24 trucks, a scramble of agencies, and a terrorism law never used for drugs. Why did this operation upend decades of United States policy, and what secrets did the convoy really carry? A convoy of 24 18-wheelers lined up along the edge of the Houston port, engines rumbling as federal agents directed the loading of 1,300 steel drums. Each barrel, stamped with shipping codes and chemical hazard labels, carried part of a mountain of industrial solvents, chemicals that together weighed more than 300,000 kilograms. The manifest, signed and sealed under federal warrant, listed benzyl alcohol and N-methylformamide as contents, but every agent on the ground knew what these barrels represented: the raw components for nearly 190,000 kilograms of methamphetamine. The operation unfolded with practiced urgency. Homeland Security investigations took the lead, their teams moving in tight formation to oversee every container transfer from ship to rig. Customs and Border Protection officers scanned serial numbers and cross-checked inventory logs, methodically confirming each drum against the official seizure list. The scale of the haul was staggering, so vast that it took all 24 trucks just to clear the port in a single day. As the last rig pulled away, escorted by unmarked sport utility vehicles, the full magnitude of the seizure became clear. The convoy snaked through Houston's industrial corridors, bound for a secure federal facility where each barrel would be logged, tested, and locked away as evidence. For the agents, the sheer volume was more than a statistic. It was a physical reality that filled warehouses, blocked traffic, and brought home the scale of the threat in unmistakable terms. Official press statements from Homeland Security investigations laid out the valuation approach that would define the case. The dollar figure most often cited, $569 million, reflects the estimated street value of methamphetamine that could be produced from the seized chemicals, not the chemicals themselves. This method, used in federal drug prosecutions, translates the raw weight of precursor substances into their finished drug equivalent, allowing authorities to express the true impact of a seizure in terms familiar to policymakers and the public. In this instance, more than 300,000 kilograms of benzyl alcohol and N-methylformamide were intercepted, enough to manufacture nearly 190,000 kilograms of methamphetamine. Some early reports referenced a much lower figure, 1.8 tons or roughly $278 million. That number traces back to a subset of the original manifests, likely representing only a portion of the cargo or an initial intercept before foreign partners consolidated the shipments for a single operation in Houston. Once all containers were combined, the full scale of the haul became clear, and the $569 million figure became the official metric cited in press conferences and court filings. This approach to valuation is not just a matter of headlines. It shapes how forfeiture proceedings move forward, how cases are prosecuted, and how the government communicates the threat to Congress and the public. By focusing on the potential yield of finished methamphetamine, Homeland Security investigations and its partner agencies aim to leave no doubt about the stakes involved. The final tally, 190,000 kilograms of methamphetamine and $569 million, became the baseline for every subsequent legal and policy decision tied to the raid. On January 20th, 2025, a new executive order changed the legal landscape for federal prosecutors targeting international drug cartels. Executive Order 14,157 authorized the Secretary of State to designate transnational criminal organizations, including the Sinaloa cartel, as foreign terrorist organizations under Section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Within a month, the Sinaloa cartel joined a list of 8 groups named as foreign terrorist organizations and specially designated global terrorists, a move that opened the door to a set of legal tools never before applied to cartel operations. The authority now available to prosecutors reached beyond traditional drug laws. Statutes like Title 18 of the United States Code Section 2339B, which criminalizes material support to designated terrorist groups, and Title 18 of the United States Code Section 981, subsection A, paragraph 1, subparagraph G, which enables civil forfeiture of property tied to terrorism, became central to the case. For the team at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, this meant the power to freeze assets, seize shipments, and pursue broader remedies without the limits imposed by standard narcotics statutes. The District of Columbia prosecutors, led by U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, worked quickly to secure a seizure warrant under these terrorism provisions. By shifting venue from Texas to the District of Columbia, they gained access to national security resources and precedent, setting their sights on dismantling the financial backbone of the cartel. The legal filings referenced the executive order and cited the new foreign terrorist designation as the basis for action, making it clear that the government was treating the Sinaloa supply chain as a matter of national security, not just criminal enterprise. This statutory shift placed terrorism law at the center of the prosecution strategy, redefining the boundaries of federal drug enforcement. The legal playbook now included tools designed for counterterrorism, fundamentally altering how the government could respond to the cartel's chemical pipeline. Inside a secure government facility, barrels from the Houston seizure were unsealed under the watch of DEA chemists. Each drum carried a unique serial number that matched data pulled from Chinese shipping manifests. The paperwork, stamped in Mandarin and English, listed the sender as a chemical exporter in Shanghai and declared the contents as benzyl alcohol and N-methylformamide, two industrial solvents with a far more sinister use. DEA laboratory analysis confirmed the composition. There were 164,880 kilograms of benzyl alcohol, a clear oily liquid often used in pharmaceuticals, and 151,560 kilograms of N-methylformamide, a solvent favored in chemical manufacturing. Forensic tests revealed both chemicals met the high purity standards required for methamphetamine synthesis, with no signs of industrial contamination. The quantities matched precisely the figures in the seized manifests, leaving little doubt about the shipment's origin and intended use. Chemical tracking databases cross-referenced the batch numbers with export logs from Chinese ports. The trail ran unbroken from Shanghai's docks to the Sinaloa cartel's network in western Mexico, mapped through a series of bills of lading and transshipment records. The evidence established a direct pipeline, chemicals manufactured and shipped from China, routed through intermediary ports, and consolidated for delivery to cartel labs. DEA scientists documented every step, compiling a forensic record that tied the seized cargo to the Sinaloa network. The scale and purity of the chemicals, combined with the manifest evidence, supported the case for treating the supply chain as a coordinated act, one that fit the new legal framework of material support to a foreign terrorist organization. Customs and Border Protection first flagged the incoming shipments after detecting irregularities in the cargo manifest linked to Chinese exporters. Homeland Security Investigations stepped in, reaching out to law enforcement partners in Panama, Guatemala, and Mexico. Working across borders, HSY orchestrated a series of holds, delaying the containers at each stop until all 12 could be routed to a single port. The consolidation took place in Panama, where foreign partners coordinated the transfer of every barrel onto two vessels bound for Houston. This move transformed scattered shipments into a single, unified target. As the containers approached United States waters, the FBI Houston field office finalized dockside tactical plans, ensuring agents would be ready the moment the ships arrived. The result was a seamless operation. Cargo was tracked from Shanghai, held in Panama, then seized in Houston in one coordinated strike. Federal prosecutors bypassed Texas courts entirely, filing the case in the District of Columbia, a move that gives them access to national security resources and the full weight of terrorism statutes. Defense attorneys are already previewing challenges, arguing that the shipments never touched D.C. soil and questioning the legal connection. But the government's strategy is clear. By anchoring the case in the nation's capital, they can wield broader powers to freeze assets, pursue global forfeiture, and set precedent for treating cartel supply chains as national security threats. This venue choice also amplifies diplomatic pressure on China. Each reference to D.C. in official filings signals that Beijing's export controls are now a matter of American security, not just trade. Congressional leaders are watching closely, calling for hearings and new sanctions, while the Port Authority and local officials brace for a courtroom fight that will reach far beyond Houston's borders. Today, the global pipeline of cartel chemicals keeps shifting routes faster than governments can adapt. United States law now treats cartels as terrorists, and the stakes escalate on both sides of the border. The next shipment is already in motion. The question is, who will intercept it first?